All my life, I swear, the best part of this movie is this dang poster. I had no expectations and I was still disappointed. Like, how does that happen? Okay, that's kind of a lie. I expected this to be not that good, but a good time. Like Venom 3. I thought Venom 3 was just not all that great, but it was such a good time. This wasn't even a good time. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I just saw Kraven the Hunter. Let's talk about it. Directed by J.C. Chandor, stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, Russell Crowe, Alessandra Nivolo, and the dude from Gladiator 2, the Crazier Twin. Crazy Twin is having such a good year, minus this, because he was in Thelma, which was in the summer, one of the best movies of the year. He's in Nickel Boys, which I'm still waiting to see. Gladiator 2, like, okay, go off, King. But anyways, back to Kraven the Hunter. I don't know who at Sony needs to hear this, but this whole, hey, let's make Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man, we need to stop doing that because it's not working. Just because Venom kind of sort of worked doesn't mean anything, okay? It's not a bat signal. Morbius was awful. Madam Web felt like a really bad car wreck. And then you have this. You ever been to the Biltmore House? For those who do not know, the Biltmore House is a estate in Asheville, North Carolina, right in the valley, and it's absolutely stunning, beautiful on the outside, gorgeous on the inside, artwork, furniture, decorations, all that. If you've never been there during Christmas, highly recommend. It's the house from Richie Rich, for those who are old enough to remember. My point is, imagine something that beautiful, that gorgeous, and that grand, and then going inside and it's empty. It's a bit of a letdown, right? That's what this movie is. It has a beautiful little exterior, but on the inside is just empty. My movie started at 6:15 p.m., 20 minutes for preview. So what? The movie starts at 6:35. At 7:44, because I checked my watch, 7:44 is when the plot starts. Before that point, I remember sitting there thinking to myself, why are we here? What is the point of this movie? What is the plot here? Like, what's going on? You just have people and pieces moving and doing things for no reason. This movie is one big writing issue. It's episodic in the worst way because you have scene here, scene here, scene here, and nothing really connects. There's no rhyme or reason for this to be here and then this to be here and then that to be there and then for this to be over there. Like, it's just, things are happening until they start to happen. This movie did not need to be 2 hours and 7 minutes. Absolutely, especially because, again, the crux of the movie starts an hour and 10 minutes in. I'm not exaggerating. There's no plot. On top of the writing issue, this was the wrong director. Honest to God, it felt like this is someone who's heard of comic book movies, but had never seen one. I think that's all I have to say about that, because if I say anything else, it's just going to be mean. Film nerds, help me out. So there is a scene in a club where the brothers are sitting across from each other, eating food, and I think they crossed the line. It's a film technique. The 180 rule. You don't break the 180 rule. They broke the 180 rule, and it caught me off guard, and it struck me, and I'm like, that's not correct. One of the first things you learn in any kind of film class is the 180 rule, and I swear on my life he broke it. I can explain that another time, but until then, film geeks, those who know what I'm talking about, if you've seen this, did he or didn't he? Now, I think many of us knew and understood that this movie wasn't going to be very good, but we figured, hey, maybe it's good fun. It really isn't. It's kind of slow. It's boring. Again, the plot doesn't, what you could consider a plot, doesn't start until an hour and 9 to 10 minutes in. And now, I've said this before, and I stand by this. If it's a bad movie, there are two things that can get me to excuse a bad movie: eye candy and Carnage. I love a movie with good carnage. There's a lot of carnage in here, but this man does not know how to shoot carnage. It was shot way too fast. And I know that's a really morbid thing to say, but yeah, it was shot way too fast. So as much carnage as there is in this movie, I couldn't enjoy it. Don't read into that. Now on to the eye candy part. Ladies, just sit down. I, like so many of you, wanted one thing from this movie because it's Aaron Taylor Johnson. I mean, my God, look at him. Look at him. We're all praying the same prayer, right? That Granny will let him loose. Call me juvenile, childish, I really don't care. The expectation that we were going to see Aaron Taylor Johnson a certain way, because that poster, that image, we've been seeing that for over a year. Because if you remember, this movie was actually supposed to come out last year, but was delayed due to the strike. So, like I and so many other females, we thought, oh yeah, we're going to get Aaron Taylor Johnson eye candy in this movie. We're not. I'm going to tell you what you want to know. And don't you dare act like you didn't want to know. He's shirtless 2.5 times in this movie. Don't you dare judge me. The people want to know, and I'm going to tell them what they want to know. That halftime doesn't really count, not even worth mentioning. But those other 2 times, if you've seen the trailer and you've seen the poster, you've seen it. That's it. Now, if Aaron Taylor Johnson doing parkour for 2 hours and some change does it for you, then there you go. That's your reason to buy a ticket. But if you were hoping for something else, I am so sorry. Savannah, you sound mad about it. Hell yeah, I'm mad. This movie had one job and failed. But yeah, that was bad. That was crap. That was hollow. That was just empty. It was just an empty movie. It was just this shell and nothing in it. It's like finding a turtle shell in the ocean or an empty seashell, and you know there's supposed to be a crab in there or a turtle in there, something, and then there's nothing in there. Like, I can't think of any other way to describe it. The movie is just hollow and empty. This needed a different writer. It needed a completely different director. Now, if they want to do a redo, take that same cast minus Ariana DeBose. Was not feeling her in this at all. Now, if they want to take all that cast and do it over again, then knock yourselves out. Find a different director, find a different writer, let's try again. I mean, the ending sets up for a sequel, and if they do, different writer, different director. The shell is fine. It's what's inside or what's lacking that's the problem. Anyways, I don't even know what to rate that. I mean, that barely makes a scale. Definitely one of the worst movies I've seen all year, but I didn't fall asleep. So, there's at least that.